Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Wednesday webinar. My name's Steven, and I'm the enablement lead here at New Order. Today, we're going to be going over a couple great things. So we're going to be going over product data, inventory data, and how to utilize those two in the best way possible, given our default settings and then also some customizations that you can make to them. And then also we're going to be going over error handling. So when you upload your product data or inventory data and you get errors. So I want to start off with product data. So in order to export your existing product data to make updates to it and utilize functionality there, you're going to navigate to admin. And so that's here. A lot of you are probably familiar with it, but if you're not, the navigation tab here on the left, you select admin. And then we're going to go to what's called product data here. So we go into product data. And so if you were uploading product data, that's where you'll do it here. If you wanted to download one of our New Order standard templates, you could do that here with the horizontal layout or the vertical layout. The vertical layout is personally my favorite. And so if you want, but then if you're going to export the existing product data, you're going to go down to here where it says download your data. So you can either download your data with archive products or without archive products. So I'm going to go ahead and select downloading product data without archive products in a vertical format. And I'm going to download the CSV. And so after you select it, it'll actually go to your downloads within the web browser. And when you open it, it will look like this. Okay. The first thing I want you to notice is this underscore ID field. So what this is this uniquely identifies a specific style, color, and season in New Order. And that'll uniquely identify all of your products. And so when working with existing product data, best practice is to export it the way we just did and go ahead and make your edits to the product data template that we have here. Okay. So a lot of our default settings are really fantastic. And by default, I mean filters that show up in your wholesale view. And those filters, those default filters, show up in the following ways. So if you do select to use division, you can make edits to that, and it'll actually show as a default filter in the wholesale view. You can also make edits to department, category, and then there's another one here that's not showing up that I want to utilize, and that's going to be the subcategory. And so if you haven't been filling these out already, I highly suggest that you do. It does help in actually filtering down for products in the all products tab. I'm in this example, I already have them filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave those as is, but I do want to fill out my subcategories here. So what I'm going to do is fill out shoes, and then I'm going to do athletic as my subcategory. And then I have dresses here. I'm going to go ahead and do fashion is my subcategory. I have tops here. I'm going to put tanks as my subcategory. And so now when I go back and have a category filter, I'm also going to have that subcategory filter as well to be able to drill down my products a little more specifically. We do have a description column. I often find that clients don't fill that out as much, but I do highly recommend it. So you can use your description column here. So you have all of your pricing, and these are standard across most of our clients. But something else that we can always do here in New Order is add custom columns and filters and product details to your product data. And so by that, I mean, we can actually add a custom filter to further drill down your products, and or we can bring in specific product details. So as an example, I'm going to go ahead and use fabrication as a custom template. So that this isn't a default setting New Order has, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to simply add the column here like so, and then all I have to do is add my header as the exact way I want my filter label or product detail label to display. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill out fabrication. So I'm going to put seam for here for the shoes. I'm going to put altered here. And I'm going to put wash here. And so now I've added a fabrication filter and also product detail to my product data. And so now all I have to do is save this and then upload it to my sorry, I think we lost it there for a second. I'm going to go ahead and upload it to my product data in admin. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to go into my product data here. Going to go ahead and drag and drop that save file here. And it says I have a success. Fantastic. So now, when I go to my wholesale view, just takes a second to load. I'm going to go to my all products gallery. And now, do you remember that filter that I had created? It's now here. So my products that I detailed out to have altered and wash, I can now do a drill down and find it there. And so that's how you can add your custom filter to your product data and get some more utilization from it. And then the other filters that we were talking about are those standard filters. So here's department and category and shipping info. And so now we've done that. What I want to do is go through some error handling with you guys. So I'm going to go back to admin here so we can get set up to do another product data upload. And what I find is that the product data can sometimes during an upload throw you some errors. But what I want to go over is how to identify those errors and what it'll actually show as the error codes. So using the product data as an example here, I'm going to go ahead and take away some of the required fields for these products. So if I were to, for instance, take out color, this is one of our critical required fields. So I just took out color from this specific product. Okay. I also am going to take out my size 1, which is also another required field. Another thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to take out my name from here. Now I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to upload it. So what's happening now is I'm getting thrown some errors, okay? And this is what I'm talking about, the error codes. At first glance, it may look a little like a tall hill to climb, right? And what I want to show is that we can actually go through each line. It'll actually tell us what lines they are, and look at the different error codes to identify the problems. And we try and give you these error codes to really empower you to be able to take control of your data and start working through it. So what I want to do is bring back up the product data real quick and kind of bring it to the side to kind of show you guys line by line, right? So the first one is we have the line 2. It's saying line 2 for the style number 701, season fall winter, and the ID is 54CFF, and that's what the start of it is. So that looks like to be right here, okay? It says that the error for this is the color is blank for this style. This is a required field and will need to be entered. Well, since you guys saw me actually take away the colors, you knew that the error was coming, but I do want to show you that if there's any specific product in your data that doesn't have that color and it's just these like a one-off line item, what it'll do is it'll tell you that that specific item doesn't have the color, and it'll tell you what line it is, what underscore ID it is, what style number, what season, so you can go back and navigate there to do that, okay? So the color that, I'm gonna go back and fill out my color since that was an error that I was getting, okay? So now that I've done that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to my errors here, and it says that the line 2 error again was that missing color data. So I've already filled that in for that line 2 error for the color data. And then it says for my line 3 error, the same thing. Line 4, the same thing. And line 5 was the same thing. So I filled out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It also looks like 6 was coming up as an error there as well. So now that I've recognized that, the next thing that I want to find is going to be, it looks like it's throwing me an error for line 28. And so line 28 is saying that the name. So I'm going to go to line 28 here. And it says my name is blank for this style. So that means here. So it's actually, it is in fact missing. So I'm going to go ahead and fill my name out here. And that addresses lines 28 through 31. So now that I've dealt with all of those errors, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick check to make sure that there was no other errors other than the ones that we just took care of. So let's see here. Okay, so it looks good to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and save the product data that we just edited. I'm going to go ahead and try another upload and see if I get a success. So I did in fact get a success. And so now it says that all of those were updated. And so now we're really excited because we just went through all of the errors in our product data, and now we're set up and ready to go. Okay? So as a segue into inventory data, the best way to set up your inventory data is going to be using your product data as the guide. And I say that because what we want to do is we want to export our product data in order to set up our inventory data. And the reason for that being is that we have some specific critically required fields in our inventory data template that we want to use, right? I'll often find brands doing an export from their ERP for their inventory, which is great to get the quantities. But what we want to make sure, though, is that sometimes when we export from our ERP, it doesn't have that same style, color, season and size that's in our a new order currently. So what we want to do is make sure that we grab those specific key fields and bring those into our inventory data. So I'm going to show you this as an example. I'm going to be pulling back up my product data here. And I'm also going to then pull up my inventory data. And for anyone who doesn't have an inventory data template, you can go ahead and request one from heroes@neworder.com, and we will send you one. So what I'm going to show you is what will actually export from your inventory section in your admin. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to your inventory section in admin. And that's going to be under the section inventory, images, and pricing right here. And we're going to then, so here, this download section, so this download is actually the export of any inventory that's been recorded in your system. So if you haven't actually recorded any inventory in your system as of yet, which is what I'm going to be talking about uploading is new inventory today. So you won't actually be downloading it from here. You'll be using the template that we provide for you to upload it. And that template is going to look like this here. And so you'll see that this template looks very familiar as far as some key required fields, and that's from the product data. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my inventory by grabbing the style number, the season, and the color. I'm going to just grab those right from my product data. That's the best way to do it, to be able to match up with your inventory data. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to paste it like so. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to grab that size that we're going to be uploading inventory to. So I'm going to go over here to my size ones. And it looks like, so the size one's on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to update my size groups here. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to paste them here like so. The next thing I'm going to look at is my quantity. And so this is where you're going to be uploading the different quantities that are specific to your sizing at the color, season, style level. Okay. And so for me, I'm going to have 50 here. I'm going to have 60, 55, 70. And I'm going to just go through and fill these out. And just for sake of time and example, I'm going to just go ahead and fill that out like that. Start going through and inserting random quantities. So the next thing I'm going to do is show warehouses. Now, if warehouses don't apply to you and you don't actually ship from specific warehouses, you guys can go ahead and never mind this. But for those of you who are using warehouses, it is important to make sure to put what warehouse it is coming from. So the warehouse that I have set up currently in our system is called CA01. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that out like so under my warehouse column. And then the date column is where you actually specify the type of inventory that you're uploading. So there's different types of inventory. You have your immediate inventory. And in order to identify immediate, you'll use an immediate symbol here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my inventory for this specific, for 701 fall winter red, sizes 1 through 4. I'm going to go ahead and put those as their immediate inventory. The next the next one here is for case A and case B. I want to say that those 12, those are going to be available at a later date. So I'm going to go ahead and put those that they're available 10/1/17. And then for LZ043 Fall Curry, 0 through 8, actually 18 for all the Missy. I'm going to go ahead and put those as those are available at the beginning of next year. And then for the petite, I'm going to say that these are all pre-book. So these are able to be pre-booked. And I'll take that all the way through all the petites here. And then 0, 2, 3, 4, excuse me, 0, 2, 4, and 6. I'm going to say that those are also available immediately. Perfect. And so now that I've set these up, I'm ready to go. I do want to point out one column that we went over, that we actually skipped over because I want to talk about it at the end here, and that is the UPC. So you can actually use UPCs if you do have them instead of using the style, season, and color. So if you had UPCs in your data, you would essentially skip the first steps that we did, which was taking the style number, season, and color and pasting it here. And you'd actually just input the UPC. So what you could do is literally delete these columns. Okay? So this is an and or situation. So you can either use your style, season, or color, or you can use your UPC. So in this case, we're using our style number, season, and color. And so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm going to just go ahead and delete this column because I don't need it. So now that I've done my inventory, I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm going to then go back to my inventory section. And I'm going to import it. And see if I get any errors or if it's a success. Oh, it says that we got some errors. So now what I'm going to do is bring back up my inventory template. And it's wondering why I didn't have what. So now that I have this up, I'm going to bear with me here for a second. Here we go. So now that I have my errors back up, it's saying that I have a line 2 error. It says size 1 was not found on this product for 701 fall winter red. So size 1 wasn't available. Okay. So then it says line 3, which is here. It says size 2 wasn't available. Line 4, which is here, size 3. So it's saying that the full size run here is non-fact available. So what this means is that in my product data, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to my product data, which we talked about at first. It says that for style 701 fall winter in red, sizes 1, 2, 3, 4 don't exist. Now, what this means is that I made these changes to my product data and didn't actually save and upload them back in. And so that's often an error that we will find is in the sizing. So for inventory data, the reason why we always want to pull from our product data is because we want to have those specific required fields, and we want to match exactly up to our product data. So in this case, my error was that I pulled the style, color, and season, and then I added the sizes to my product data here, but didn't in fact save them. So what I would need to do now is make sure that these are saved and uploaded properly. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I have my size 1 filled out for those specific ones that it errored out on. And just to show you again, these were the errors that we did in fact have on our inventory. And now I'm going to resave my product data here. I'm going to then navigate back to my product data section. I'm going to upload my product data that I just updated. It says that I have a success, which is great. So that means that those sizes should have been added. I'm then going to go back to my inventory data here. And I'm then going to re-upload my inventory data. And it says I have a success, which is fantastic. So now for 701 Fall Winter Red, I've got my inventory uploaded. And I'm going to now go back to the wholesale view to show you for 701 what that inventory looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and search for 701 in red. And it looks like it wasn't showing up, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is troubleshoot that real quick by looking at why it's not showing up. And it might be because, so I'm going to go ahead and search for 701 one more time. And it is in fact not showing up. So let me go back here and go to LZ043 to show you what that looks like. And the specific inventory that we uploaded was in fact curry. So I'm going to go ahead and go to curry. And for curry, it says available 0. So that is going to be because we marked it pre-book. But then also we have we updated it to 1/1/2017 for those specific sizes, and we can go ahead and navigate that to make it look like this. And then we have these size buckets that we can order from. So that's inventory. So what it looks like for the first style that I tried to look for, style 701, is that it might in fact be disabled or archived. So I'm going to go ahead and look through that. But overall, we now have updated our product data. We've utilized specific customized functions, custom filters, custom product details. We've also been utilizing some of our default settings, so things like your division and your department filters. And then also, we added that fabrication custom filter that came through on our wholesale side. We also navigated through some errors, which we then troubleshooted and added things like the color and the style name. And then we went through our inventory data, and we found that those sizes didn't show up because they weren't logged in our product data. We then uploaded the sizes in our product data and went back and had a successful inventory upload. And the main part of those two uploads was that you now know where to go to look at those error codes. So it actually will tell you the line item, it'll tell you the underscore ID, and it'll tell you that style, color, and season to go look for, and it'll tell you what to look for. It'll tell you if the color is missing or any of those required fields. And so that concludes our Wednesday webinar today. I want to thank you all for showing up, and I am going to, on my end, look up that 701 style to see the other troubleshooting I can do. And if you guys have any questions, you can contact heroes@neworder.com, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.